Hi guys, welcome to QNAP Live Broadcast. I'm Sam, and today we are introducing our new product. And what's wrong with that chair? Can you help?
Oh, sure.
We have our PM David here, and also we will invite another partner from one of our supplier. So we have another extra chair, and we will introduce the hardware and hardware of this new machine for you. And let's get into the slides. This is the TS-x83XU that we are introducing to you today. The advantages is that it's using the 25 gigabit speed of the internet transmission.
Yeah, we're going to support that.
Yeah, and another is the Fibre Channel. We will support that in the future, right?
Yes, right.
Of course. And it has a Intel Xeon processor with ECC memory, and we're using the Mellanox.
Yes,
and of course,
SmartNIC solution.
Yep, and of course the ISO supported. So these are all the advantages of this TS-x83XU. So we will introduce one by one. And we will start from the product overview. So please, David.
Okay, sure. This is the whole X83XU series. You can see over here we have 1U up to 4U 24-bay. So no matter it's 1U, 2U or 4U, we equip with the Intel Xeon processor and support 4-core or up to 6-core. So we have 1U 9-bay, 2U 8 and 12-bay, 3U 16-bay, and 4U 24-bay.
Yes.
And if you are aware of this program, we just have a new extended warranty program. For this X83XU, we have standard 3 years warranty for the all models.
Sure.
And you are able to purchase 2-year extended warranty, so maximum up to 5 years in the X83XU. If you are interested in this program, and we have a new website, the address is just listed here. You can log in and sign up with your QID, register your product, and you can check your warranty period or purchase the warranty online. This is in this website. Okay, I think talk about the Xeon. Xeon is just like enterprise representative. Okay, all the enterprise server storages, they are all equipped with the Xeon processor because it's reliable and with very high performance. And so in the X83XU, we use Xeon processor as the our brand, you know, in the NAS. And of course, we have ECC memory. The idea of the ECC memory is it supports error correcting code. That means sometimes you may have 1-bit error in your memory that may cause of the higher temperature or lowering voltage. And to avoid this kind of error, because if there is 1-bit error in your memory, you will encounter the data corruption situation. So the idea of the ECC is we are able to check the data in the memory is correct or not, and we can compare when you write the data and when after reading out the data, we have a mechanism to compare this data. And then if we found a 1-bit error in the memory, it is able to correct the error.
Yes.
So that is why all the enterprise storage or servers, they all use ECC memory. Okay, here comes the overview of the whole series. 1U 9-bay. Please just be aware of the difference because we offer 2 different SKUs in some of the models. Just like the 1U 9-bay, we offer redundant power supply and a single power supply. And if it is redundant power supply, you can see the RP behind the model name. Okay. In the 1U 9-bay, we have 4 3.5-inch in front and support 5 2.5-inch SSD slots inside. And for the 2U, it's 8-bay model, and also we support redundant and single power supply and use Xeon E2124 processor and with 8 GB memory. And for the 2U 12-bay, we offer just redundant because most of the customers, if they use the 12-bay or 12-bay above, we believe redundant power supply is a must for this kind of customer. So for the 2U 12-bay, we only offer redundant power supply, 300 watt power supply. And for the 3U, there is a little bit different here. The first thing is we still offer redundant power supply as 500 watt. And the difference is we still use the 2124 Xeon processor, but we equip with the 16 gigabyte memory in the 16-bay. And for the 4U, it's 24-bay. It's a big NAS, right? So the processor, we changed the processor to E2136. That is 6-core Intel Xeon processor, and redundant power supply is 800 watt. Yes. Higher power for your 24-bay NAS.
Then we're going to introduce you the TS-x83XU hardware introduction. So please.
Okay. Before we just have a quick overview of the whole series, and now we are going to deep dive into the older models. And before QNAP has 1U but only 4-bay, but this time we have 1U 9-bay. Just like what I mentioned, at the front side you can see 4 3.5-inch slots of there, and inside 5 2.5-inch SATA SSD ports. That means with this 1U, you can enjoy the Q tier and the SSD cache. Before, it's not easy to do that because you only have 4-bay, right? So right now you can enjoy Q tier and the SSD cache in a 1U NAS. At the rear side of the 983XU, we have a PCIe slot, and it is low profile PCIe Gen 3 by 16 slot. And we have two gigabit ports, network gigabit ports, and also two 10 gigabit SFP plus ports at the rear side. And there are 6 USB 3.1 ports. Some of them are 3.1 Gen 1, 5G. Some of them are 3.1 Gen 2, 10G. Okay. And this is the installation guide for the internal SSD. It's pretty easy, just 5 steps. Just remove the top cover.
Take it out.
Yeah, take out the hard drive tray, install the SSD into the tray, and then put everything back. And that's all. Okay. Okay. This is the front view of the 2U, 3U, and 4U. And please be aware of the difference between 2U and 3U, 4U. The hard drive tray is they're different. You cannot plug 1683 tray into the 1283. No. Okay. We still have the LED indicators at the front side. The location is at the right side. Power button, system status, network status, and also the enclosure status. So all the button and the LED indicators at the right side. At the rear side of the 2U, 3U, and 4U, you can see quite different from the 1U. We offer more PCIe slots. For the 2U, 3U, we have 4 PCIe slots, and for the 4U, we have 5 PCIe slots. And also, there is another difference is gigabit LAN port. For 2U, 3U, 4U, we have 4 gigabit LAN ports at the rear side. Still, we offer USB 3.1, but all of them are 3.1 Gen 2, 10G. Okay, and of course, we have redundant or single power supply. That depends on the SKU. So that is the real view of the 2U, 3U, and 4U X83XU models. Since we have a lot of PCIe slots, the reason of giving our customer a lot of PCIe slots is for expansion. So with those PCIe slots, you can install like QM2 to leverage the SSD on the QM2, and you can have the QM2 card, also SSD cache card. And also, if you don't feel enough with your network bandwidth, just install a 10 gig, 25 gig, or 40 gig network adapter. So the idea of the PCIe slot is for our customer to expand the ability. Okay, and please be aware of the specifications here. In 1U, 2U, we support low profile PCIe card, and for the 3U, 4U, we support full high. So if you want to purchase the PCIe card, no matter it's gigabit card or other PCIe adapters, please be aware of the specifications of the PCIe cards. Okay, and the next one is the PCIe specification is also different in different model. For our 2U and 3U, we have 4 PCIe slots, and the slot numbering is from the right side to the left side, number 1, 2, 3, 4, and those slots comes from different. Some of them comes from the CPU, and there is one PCIe slot number 1. It comes from the PCH. Actually, we do a little bit different in these slots. We suggest our customers to install high-speed expansion card like SAS card or 40 gig NIC card into the PCIe slot number 2, 3, 4 because it supports PCIe Gen 3. And we support only PCIe Gen 2 on the PCIe slot number 1. The reason we do that is many hard drives are connected to the PCH, and actually there is a tunnel between the CPU and the PCH, and that is a DMI. The bandwidth of the DMI is limited, so we would like to offer sufficient bandwidth for those hard drives. So we give the PCIe slot number 1 as just only Gen 2.
Sure.
So you still can install low-speed card just like a gigabit card or USB card into the PCIe slot 1. Okay, this is the PCIe slot specifications for the 4U. Like what I mentioned before, we have 5 PCIe slots in the 4U. And one of the slots is occupied by the 10 gigabit adapter. And just like the 2U and 3U, slot number 2 and the 4 comes from the CPU. And so we have PCIe Gen 3 for this PCIe slot number 2 and 4. For slot number 1, 3, 5, it supports PCIe Gen 2.
Okay.
It is the same idea just like before, 2U and 3U models. Okay. And this slide is also very important because some of our customers, they want to install the GPU card and leverage our virtualization station, GPU pass-through function, or our AI apps. So most of the GPU cards, they are quite big and huge. So we offer the dimension of each model. So before you purchase the GPU card, make sure the size or dimension of the GPU cards, please make sure they are fit for these models.
Yes.
For the memory part, the maximum memory is 64 gigabyte, and the whole system is dual channel. So we support 4 DIMMs in the X83XU. If you want to install just only one, actually we suggest to install memory in pair, 2 or 4. But in case you want to install only one memory modules, please install in A0 slot. And if you want to install only 2, so it's your channel, so install them into A0 and B0.
Yes.
So that will make the you can take the advantage of the dual channel. Okay. Of course, just like before, QNAP offers the memory accessories, no matter 4 gig and 8 gig or 16 gig. You can just select and order in that from our from QNAP.
Yes.
All the S83 series support toolless real key, and the toolless real key is pretty useful. And for example, you have a NAS, it's a 4U NAS or 3U NAS in the rack, and you want to upgrade your memory or install the PCIe adapters. You just simply put it out and lift it up top cover, so you can replace. You don't have to take the whole NAS out of the rack. It's pretty heavy, so it's a good idea for those IT administrators, especially when they want to change or repair something in the NAS.
Let's take a look at the TS-x33XU versatile applications. What's wrong with my pronunciation?
Okay. Before we mentioned we have USB 3.1 Gen 2 is supposed up to 10 gig, right? Because some of the customers, they still need to import or export data via the USB pen drive sometimes. So a higher transfer speed, that means you can no matter backup import data much faster than before, especially compared with the USB 3.0. It's 2 times faster. And for the graphic card, if you still remember, we support full high graphic card in the 3U and the 4U models. And some powerful graphic card needs external power. So for the 3U and the 4U NAS, we offer over 500 watt. For the 4U, we have 800 watt, and the 3U 500 watt. We offer extra external power cord for this kind of graphic cards. But for the 2U NAS, there is not extra external power cord because it's only half high, but you still can install half high GPU card, but just no external power required. Okay.
Sure.
Since we talk about the GPU card and how we can leverage the GPU card in our NAS, and these 3 are the we just want to give our customer after you installing the GPU card, you can do these things with the GPU card.
Yes.
The first thing is AI computing acceleration. The second thing is like a transcoding. You can do a lot of transcoding acceleration with the GPU card. And the third one is virtualization station, GPU pass-through. And QNAP NAS offer app, we call that as QAI, and also we have a container. So you can easily build up your AI development environment with QNAP solution. Like you have a container, you can install no matter Cafe or TensorFlow, this AI training open source software, and all the raw data can store in the NAS. And with the GPU card, you can accelerate all the AI training computing process, just like an all-in-one solution, software, storage, and GPU card.
Of course.
And the second way to use the GPU card is smooth video experience, because we support a lot of Plex media server. You can stream your video to a lot of devices, and if you want to do the streaming or you want to leverage the video station to play video, normally this kind of process need to transcode the video, just like from Full HD to 720p. So if you don't have the GPU card, normally the process will be done by the processor. So that means your processor is going to be very, very busy and has no time to deal with those
other jobs,
right? So with the GPU card, the GPU card can do all those things. So that means your CPU can do a lot of other things.
Of course.
And the third application is the virtualization. We have virtualization station, we have container station, and with the virtualization station, you can have virtual machine inside the NAS. And the GPU pass-through function is, it is just an idea. You can pass through, you can let your virtual machine use the physical real GPU, not the emulate one in the virtualization station. So if you have this GPU pass-through function, there is a comparison chart over here. If without GPU, your virtual machine will do a lot of things with the physical CPU. So your CPU is gonna be very busy. You can see the CPU utilization is around 68% if you don't have a GPU and GPU pass-through function. But with the GPU and the GPU pass-through function, you can do still the same, exactly same jobs, but with lower CPU utilization.
Yeah, it's pretty much like 50% of the GPU loading.
Yes,
CPU
it's pretty useful. Okay. Since we support 3U and 4U, that means you have huge capacity. It's good storage for your surveillance, because I think everybody knows no matter government or school, they have this kind of surveillance system in their environment, and they need to store a long period of the video. So that means that you need a big storage.
Yes.
QNAP offer surveillance station, QVR Pro, and also you can use the QUSB CAN too. And with these applications, it's free. You can just download them from the App Center. So you can store a lot of videos, and you don't have to delete them, like 1 year or half-year videos into our X83U.
Of course. Well, the next part we will invite our partner Mellanox, and our partner will come here and tell us about the future plan and the current condition of what they are.
Yes, because I think we have a little bit different stuff in our network interface, and especially this time we cooperate with the Mellanox.
Yes.
And we will invite our super visitors Mellanox here and introduce all the details.
Yeah, so we'll take a short break. We're coming back soon. We have our partner Mellanox Senior FAE Jericho here, and welcome. And the next part, he will introduce the professional part, like why we choose to cooperate with Mellanox, right?
Yeah.
So let's go back to our slide. This part will introduce our network interface, so please.
Okay, I think this time the X83XU series, we all building the Mellanox 10G SmartNIC controllers, and I think we have Jericho here, and Jericho can introduce about the currently the market share of the Mellanox. Introduce the Mellanox a little bit.
Okay. Hello, I'm Jericho from Mellanox, and I'm going to go through a brief what's happening recently and in the near future. As you can see that 10 gig and 25 gig and above is going to take over the traditional 10 gig or the 40 gig market. And from our predictions, the takeover will happen soon, probably in the end of 19th. And the slide you see now, our market share is started to increase. We'll end around 30 in the end of this year, and by the first three Q, we have been shipped 2.5 million network adapters worldwide, and our market share grows significantly in the market.
Yeah, the blue line is Mellanox, right?
Yeah, it's going right up.
Okay, it's going up.
Who's the purple line?
Yeah. Competition.
It's other company. Okay, so I think in this slide that shows the reason we cooperate with the Mellanox, because Mellanox is very professional and has I think getting higher and higher market share in the high-speed network industry, and especially this kind of application, just like storage, machine learning, big data, or SDN security. the requirement of the network bandwidth is getting higher, right?
Yes.
So that is the reason Melnax Jericho is here. We invite him here, and just like what I mentioned before, we used the Melnax Smart NIC. So all the X83XU series has dual 10 gigabit port. That is SFP plus, and the Smart NIC supports ISER. That is kind of offload function, right?
Yes.
So maybe Jericho can introduce about the ISER function. How can the ISER function benefit for those storage or server vendors?
Okay. So the iSCSI is kind of old-fashioned protocol that does not allow many applications to bypass a lot of library or the buffer. And with the RDMA, the random access to the memory, we can bypass a little bit more gateways. You can like accelerate more, decrease the latency of total response. So it's like moving packet from the local memory to a remote memory, and you have the you have the direct access. You don't have to call the CPU to move the data from another buffer to another buffer and request for another remote CPU to allocate and doing the redundant stuff just to move the data block.
Okay.
So with our RDMA technology, we can just bypass the many buffer, many memories go inside the row. So you can just like move the data using our NIC direct from the block of the local machine into a remote machine.
Okay, so that's the reason why the technology can lower the CPU loading.
Yes.
And actually, we have this kind of, we implement the ISER, and also we have done some tests in our lab. And the test is just like this. We have a VMware server and connect with the NAS via the ISER function. We compare the performance difference between the ISER and the iSCSI, and we found with the ISER, the random rewrite performance is 60% higher than the iSCSI.
Yes.
And we also found the latency is 50% lower than iSCSI. So it's for us, it's impressive and it's pretty useful function, especially you have a lot of virtual machines, and you need to random access the data or the virtual disk in our storage. And we also have another test that is also done by our lab. We test the sequential rewrite performance. It's over 2,000 megabytes per second, no matter read or write. And it's a sequential rewrite, and the test model is TS-x83XU with the 12, I think maybe 12 SSD. Okay, it's also an impressive number, and that is all about the 10 gigabit.
Yes.
And the next one is 25 gigabit. And actually this time QNAP has done something different. We have promoted 10 gigabit for a while, no matter the high-end, medium, and low-end NAS all equipped with the 10 gig interface. But now we are thinking of the 25. And I think Jericho can introduce a little bit about the 25 market and the network vendors view.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So as you can see in the slide that currently the 10 gig in the market is around 78%, and from the third party's prediction, in the end of 19th or in beginning of 20s, the 10 gig will drop around 70 something. So the next year will probably drop to 45, and the rising part will be the new high bandwidth solution for the customer, like 25, 50, and 100, and those traditional 10 gig or 40 gig based solution depends on the new technology we're going to use, like high quality video streaming, big data, AI, machine learning, that require to handle a significant big amount of data through the network. That's why the network bottleneck must be breakthrough into a high bandwidth and high efficiency network. So from our understanding is that a lot of customers started to deploy the 25 gig in the past 2 years, and the significant rising will be happening next year.
Oh, next year.
Yeah, because there's a lot of major players around the globe, including QNAP. They're adopting our solution, and we have seen a lot of projects is going to happen in the next year. So that's why we see the market share for the 25 gig will be rising really fast.
Yeah, before it was, I think that is the number in 2017. It was just around 7% in 2017. And next year it's gonna raise to 15%.
Yes,
and also I'm also aware the blue part and the purple part is 50 gig and 100 gig, right?
Yeah.
So actually the 40 gig is going to be lower, but 25 gig, 50 gig, and 100 gig is going to grow faster, much faster than before.
Yes.
So according to the information, Mellnex Connect X4 also supports RDMA over Converged Ethernet, but currently the QNAP NAS hasn't support this function. But the Connect X4 hardware support this one, right?
Yes.
So maybe in the future we will implement something in our standby service. So with this Mellnex Connect X4 solution, you can have ISER for the iSCSI, and Rocky ROCE for the standby service, right? Okay, and another news here is we are going to have 25 gig NIC. It is a dual port 25 gig NIC, and of course we use Mellnex solution. And the dual port, I think the interface is a little bit different, but it looks like similar as the SFP Plus, right?
Yes, for 25 gig, it is used for SFP28, but it's hardware compatible in the same form factor as an SFP Plus. So it will migrate simultaneously in the future. So you don't have to upgrade your switch or your NIC. You just have to upgrade your cable.
Okay. It's a good news.
Yes.
Anyway, the port support 25 gig and also backward compatible with 10 gig speed. Okay. And this is the Mellnex 10 gig 25 gig switch, and we're going to have some cooperation with the Mellnex for this kind of switch. But before that, I think maybe Jericho can introduce what is the special part of this 25 gig switch to all our customers.
Okay. So our 2010 will just, as you can see, it's a half-width switch. You can fit into the half space in the one rack size.
Okay.
So customer will have more flexibility to use their space and to reduce what they've been waste in the past. They just need a small size to implement the failover function.
Okay.
So you can see our port on the right left hand side. We can support 1825 gig or a 10 gig port. And the other hand, we can also support 100 gig port. But in the configuration, you can divide it into 250 gig or 425 gig.
Okay, it's configurable.
Yeah.
Okay.
So customer, if they don't need too much 100 gig space, they can just configure and add more board to their topology.
Okay. So it supports a lot of 25 gig port. I think it can up to 18 25 gig ports, and for the uplink port, it has 400 gig.
Yeah.
So you can also choose you want to have the 400 gig port, or you can divide them into
maximum 16, 25 gig. Yeah.
So the total 25 gig port, the possibility of the 25 gig port
It's 34.
33. Okay, so it's a really good solution. I think no matter for the Melnex and also for the QNAP, because some of the customers they need to have failover high availability design in their network architecture.
Yes.
So the dimension or the size is quite good, because in a 1U dimension you can have 2 switch.
Side by side, simultaneously to do the failover function.
Okay.
System.
Okay. Very good design.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm going to go deeper into what is inside the switch.
Oh, okay, sure.
Our switch is designed by our silicon. As you can see, our silicon component would be the spectrum shown on this slide. And what is significantly different from the other vendors is that we have provided a fully shared buffer that can absorb the bust from the network. So you don't see a lot of packet drops or the out of buffer on the switch, and we can support like 1.7 bidirection throughput from port to another port, and we also
1.7 terabyte.
Yeah, terabyte.
Oh, okay.
And the port-to-port latency is the lowest in the market. We have 300 nanosecond port-to-port add on the switch. So if customer need a high performance and most flexible switch in their limited space, they can just adopt a switch, and you can configure whatever you want into your architecture. And we also provide a free software we call it NEO. It's the network obstruction automation software. We can program like do the automation jobs on our like a GUI friendly interface, and so you can see a lot of information like the topology in your current network. You can see all the details on the NIC in this network, cables in this network. And you can see the firmware, what is the vendor, you can upgrade it, the firmware simultaneously in the GUI. And you don't need any like network background to use the command line interface to just like type a lot of...
That's a good news.
Yes, so you can just click and type and apply. So it is very user-friendly software.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that is, I think that is a very, very good switch and good 25 gig solution,
Yeah, so
no matter for QNAP or for all our customers, right?
We're all very looking forward to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you for your introduction for the whole current status and the future plan. So we hope to see you next time.
Yes.
Thank you for coming, Jericho.
Yes.
So we will take a short break, and David and I will continue for the rest of the parts.
Okay.
Okay, we're back. So we are moving to the next part. Let's go to the slides.
Okay, so we talk about the 25 gig card. We are going to have this solution and talk about the Melnex 25 gig switch. And another news for the X83XU is the Fibre Channel. Sorry, I jumped too fast. Okay. And I think the Fibre Channel SAM, it's also a kind of interface for the storage, and it has been a long time. The good thing of the Fibre Channel is it has higher speed and lower latency.
Yeah.
That is, everybody knows that. And most of the some of the industry they are still using the Fibre Channel because of the low latency. And just like a bank, many banks they still have this kind of infrastructure, except the lower latency storage. Another thing is normally the Fibre Channel is just an isolated network environment. It cannot connect it to the normal Ethernet, right?
Sure.
So it's more safer for the bank industry. And for the video, like TV broadcasting, they have a lot of news or programs, and they need to store those videos in the storage. Fibre Channel is faster, and also for then many people can connect with long distance. It doesn't like because Fibre Channel, if you use the fiber cable, you can have the video editing station here, and storage in other places. So we have got this kind of request actually for a while. So that's why we are going to do something with the Fibre Channel. The first thing is we cooperate with Unveiled and Untitled. We are going to support Unveiled and Untitled Fibre Channel adapters, and we are going to implement this Fibre Channel functions in the QTS 4.4.1. So if you have X83XU with the QTS 4.4.1 and plus Unveiled or Untitled Fibre Channel card, you can enjoy the Fibre Channel service. Yeah. Okay.
Then this part we will show you the release. We will show you how our latest QTS 435 can like make your SSD more powerful, and the efficient will be better.
Yeah. I think everybody knows the benefit of the SSD. It has higher IOPS and the performance is quite good, but before the problem is the cost.
Yeah, it's
cost
high.
is pretty high. But right now, currently the price of the SSD is drop a lot. I think it is almost affordable for all the enterprises. And so you can leverage the SSD. How you're gonna leverage them? You can use it as a tier or SSD cache in the QTS. Right? That is the basic function in the QTS right now. So of course the 83XU support Q tier and SSD cache. But I think maybe sometimes you will find something. At the beginning you use the SSD and it's quite fast, but after a while the performance of the SSD is getting lower, right? So that is we call that as write amplification in the SSD architecture, because it's a little bit different from the hard drive. If you have the data deleted then, and you cannot write new data into the block right away, you have to remove, clean up, and then sometimes you need to move the data. So it's a little bit slower after you use the SSD for a while. So that's the reason SSD vendors, they provide a function in the SSD. They call that as over provisioning. The idea is they reserve a space for the write. Okay, so if the SSD is almost full, and when there are new data comes into the SSD, the data will go into the reserve space first, and then they can arrange or do the garbage collection. And the same idea, we are going to use this function. We implement this function in the QTS. That means before only SSD has this function, and QNAP use the same idea and implement this function in QTS. You are able to configure the over provisioning space via the QTS. Okay, so right now it's a little bit hard for you to choose SSD because different vendors, different controller, different hardware, and you have different performance. It's a little bit hard for our customer, but just choose QNAP solution, because QNAP just doing something like a software defined over provisioning. We implement this function in our QTS.
You haven't mentioned about the name of the app. SSD profiling tool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Download our SSD profiling tool.
As long as your firmware version is the latest, and you can download it on our App Center, then you can try to configure your own SSD for the ratio of your over provisioning.
Yeah, correct. Sorry, forgot about that. Okay, with SSD, you can also do cache, just like before, but for the QTS 4.3.5 or later, we support a new global cache, that is write-only cache. We want to do this because some of the applications, most of them just write data into the storage, not just like a read and write, read and write. So this write-only cache function would benefit for this kind of application, such as if you are always collecting data or store data, just like IoT
Or
environment, or
big
collect
data researcher.
Yes, yes. You just the idea of the storage is putting data inside. You hardly read from them because you are collecting data. So the write cache is quite good for this kind of application.
Yes.
Okay? And we have Q-tier, and Q-tier is an auto-tiering function. We combine SSD and hard drive all together, and we are going to move hard data to the SSD and cold data or warm data to the hard drive. But it is based on the a schedule. Like every morning, 10 p.m. 10 a.m. you can do the schedule. We are going to analyze the data and move the data around. And now we have Q-tier 2.0. We call that is I/O array tiering in real time. That means for the Q-tier 2.0, we also the SSD can also leverage as an SSD cache. So that means you have Q-tier auto tiering function and the SSD cache function at the same time.
Yeah.
And this is our, you can say this is our suggestion for you. If you are a file server, you can leverage the SSD as a Q-tier function. You can configure the SSD RAID as a RAID 6 and have the SSD over provisioning 10%.
Yes.
And this is just for our customer. It's kind of a reference for our customers. Okay.
Well, we're going to the last part, which is also a kind of protection to your NAS and your data file in our latest version of QTS. First thing is the RTO, because we know that most of the enterprises, they want to get their old services back as soon as possible. So we have done a little research. 50% of the businesses, they want they can recover everything within 1 hour when they're having any disaster, but most of them are facing the problem is they will get that back over 1 day. So RTO is a very important thing. It's called recover time objective. So the shorter the RTO is, the better the enterprise will have. So we know about this. So the next part is, now we can provide you a more powerful and more efficient snapshot. Since we can provide you snapshot vault, that I can back up the snapshot from NAS A into NAS B and take NAS B as our vault. And now the new function is you don't really have to get to that NAS and take the snapshot back to your own NAS. Then you can check the content and you can do the recovery. You can just directly check from the remote side NAS, and then you can do whatever you want. Like you want to directly clone another copy inside of the NAS B, or you want to get it back. It's all by your choice. So speaking of the snapshot vault, since we will back up our snapshot like every day or schedule, so the data file will be really huge. So at this moment, it's not good enough for you to use only 1 gigabit of the internet transmission speed, because that will give you a lot and a very long recovering time. So that is why we keep on saying and mentioning about having a 10 gigabit network is very important. Now a lot of QNAP NAS from the high end, middle end, and the entry level end NAS, they all have the 10 gigabit network by your choices. And of course, since we just talked about the 25 gigabit with our Melnax and the Fibre Channel in the future, you will have faster recovering time when you want to get things back from your snapshot vault NAS. And here's another way: if you are having a snapshot file size as big as like terabyte level, it is impossible for you to get everything recovered in through your internet, especially when you are having an international backup vault. Like maybe Taiwan and Japan, you want to recover your NAS like 2 or 3 terabyte through the network is a waste of time. So the best method for you is to export your snapshot into a file, maybe burn that in a CD, and you can use Express to send it back to your place. Then you can import the snapshot back. So that is also another way we can provide you. Hence, we now provide you several ways to protect all your data and to give you a better option to help you to get a better efficient on your SSD or something else.
Yes.
So the first thing is we now provide you the software-defined SSD profiling tool that you can define your own over-provisioning ratio. And the second is we provide you multiple ways to choose how you can use your SSD as a cache, or you can use it with our exclusive function QTier. Then the most important thing is to protect your data and shorten your what is that? RTO. Yeah. So these are the new things in our QTS 435. So if you haven't upgraded your NAS, please do it. And these are the information we want to introduce to you in the topic of our TS-x83XU today. So if you want to change your NAS or you want to upgrade your server room, please consider about this. So let's go back to live. And I truly appreciate David here to introduce such a powerful rack mount type NAS which can support you a variety of flexibility, no matter it's on the PCI Express card or the processor and the DRAM.
Yes.
So if you want to know more about our wide range of our product list, please go to QNAP.com. If you want to see more about our video, please go to live.qnap.com and use any keyword as you want to search.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will see you next time on QNAP Live Broadcast. Bye.
Bye.